NVIDIA leaks their own card, RTX 4070 Ti. NVIDIA Omniverse, in quotes, the platform for creating and operating metaverse applications. Sick. Leaked the 4070 Ti confirmation. They were quick to retract the info, but here's a screenshot from the Omniverse article. Want to show it?
I do.
There we go.
Wow.
Nice. This all but confirms that NVIDIA has simply rebadged the 4080 12 gig as the 4070 Ti. Nice. Same memory size, same boost clock, same CUDA core count, and there's a link to the Tech Power Up 4080 page. There are also rumors of a slight price drop, originally $899 for the 4080 12 gig, now $799, potentially. Not sure. This is still a $200 price jump from the 3070 Ti, which had an MSRP of $599, so it's still bad. Overall, people don't seem excited about the current price of modern hardware, with good reason. Desktop GPU sales have reached their lowest point since 2005.
What a great video title that would be. Overall, people don't seem excited about the current price of computer hardware.
Or the current price of anything, because companies are just looting people and it's horrific. Yeah. Micron has seen demand drop so much that they've cut 10% of their workforce. Intel reported a 15% decline in sales and a 59% drop in overall profits for Q3 2022 compared to Q3 2021.
Yikes.
I do think there was a bit of a spike in purchasing when COVID happened because people needed to boost their home offices. Yeah. And now we're probably dealing with the trail off of that, which makes sense.
Absolutely.
More information should be available at CES next week. That totally makes sense. Watch the channel. There's going to be a bunch of videos. Discussion question. Why did the 90 tier basically stay the same price?
Because it was already overpriced.
But 70 and 80 have increased so much. Is 50
because they were less overpriced
entry level, and is 60 the new 70 for mid-range gamers?
I mean, it's pretty simple. Basically, what we're seeing is that NVIDIA observed during the most recent crypto craze
people are going to pay.
That people were willing to pay this new amount. And they are, being the market leader, they essentially set the price for what a GPU costs.
And this is why we were so upset when people were happy to pay that.
Yeah.
Because as a business, as much as we can rag on NVIDIA, which is a lot, as a business, this is what you're supposed to do. It sucks. It sucks. But every business school in the world will tell you to do this.
What the market will bear.
Yeah.
And so
it's like literally like lesson 1 of the whole program.
And so what gamers, I mean, it basically operates exactly the same way as the current housing bubble that's taking place in BC, right? Like instead the calculus for affording a home is supposed to be based on how much income versus how much the price is so that you can live in it, right? But as people have started treating real estate as a speculative investment, and as people have turned that speculative investment into more than just a speculative investment, hoping that it will go up in value, but also a regular revenue investment through either leasing to other people directly, or in particular through Airbnb, the calculus has changed a lot. So now people who just want a place to live have to bid against people who want to rent it and just have free cash flow to acquire these properties and can afford to wait for a return, be it in 5 or 10 or 20 years. And they have to bid against people who are renting it short term, which can generate just unbelievable returns. I mean, that's what the calculation is based on. I wish I could find it. I read this amazing article that was basically like, the average price for a home will be like $5 million. I don't remember what exactly the number was, but like this astronomical number by this year, not very far from now. And here's the math to prove it. If anybody has this article, please post it in the chat, because there's been a handful of people I've wanted to show it to, because it was really amazing. It opened my eyes because I realized that it's not because there's not enough houses. It's certainly not because people are making more money. It's because the commoditization of housing and the way that it's transitioned from being a place for people to live, a basic necessity, to this vehicle for investment dollars, has changed the way we calculate how much it's worth. So the worth of a house is no longer based on what a person can afford. The worth of a house is based on how much a landlord can extract, or based on how much in particular, short-term landlord can extract from multiple short-term tenants. And if you look at the numbers, the amount of money that people charge for an Airbnb, assuming they can get even 75%, like what would it be, like a fill rate, or like I don't even know what term to use for it, but 75% occupancy or something like that.
Sure. Yeah.
It's mind-blowing, right? And so how can you possibly bid against that? If they can just use their money to make money, then the price goes up proportional to how much they can charge for it. And that's never going to be attainable for just like normal people working normal jobs trying to buy a house.
I understand where you're coming from. Fan stand. Somebody said nobody's home in BC is a basic necessity. That's just not true. But I understand where you're coming from. People still need places to live.
People like by that logic, no food in California is a basic necessity because they could go get food somewhere else.
There is lots of basic housing.
That's a brain dead take.
Sorry, bro. I shouldn't have pointed you out to Linus. I'm sorry, brother. I think I get where he's coming from, because he's saying it's all investments, basically. And to a certain degree, even if you didn't intend it to be investment, it is now.
But there's a lot that can be done to prevent that. But you still
have to have a place to live. Yeah, yes, for sure.
There's a lot that can be done to prevent that. And it could go back that way. I don't have exactly the right solution. Anyone claiming to have a perfect solution is
probably out to lunch.
Probably either a liar or an idiot. But like there's low-hanging fruit that could improve the situation. So anyway, it's pretty much the same thing that happened with GPUs. Instead of weighing the personal satisfaction, the value of enjoying gaming against the number of hours that you had to work doing something presumably it isn't your favorite thing to do, to attain it, is no longer the primary driver of GPU pricing. The primary driver of GPU pricing became how much money you could earn with it over a prolonged period of time for people who had money to invest. And so NVIDIA enjoyed that shift and is now trying to maintain that momentum for as long as possible. And AMD is absolutely playing along. $1,000 GPU is still unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's way out of line with inflation.
Yep.
And inflation is out of line with what inflation should be. I mean, you need to look no further than the record profits of our local friendly grocery.
Oh, yeah. So sorry we have to increase the prices on these various goods
it's all
at the grocery store. It's all inflation.
It's because of inflation.
By the way, 60% higher peak profit than we've ever had in history.
Yeah.
It's like, I wonder where that came from.
It was inflation, though.
Yeah. It's just so bullcrap. Groceries are so expensive. It's actually crazy.